Hey, good day. What's your name?
Norman Emmanuel Vero,
Occupation?
artist.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Yes,
Personal. How do you think the oil money should be spent to benefit the people of Guyana?
Well, I think it should do better for the children to get a better education, a better standard of living. For the people generally, not only the children. Old people, big people need a better living, you know.
Uh,
Because the pension that they're getting, it seems to be a lot of money, but it's not. It's not, because things are very expensive in Guyana and the cost of living is very high. It's pressure on the people, real pressure. I'm a pensioner and I can feel that too.
okay. And with the upcoming election, what would you like to see the winning party do to benefit the people as a whole?
Well, I would like a better Guyana, a more developed country, a country that can put people somewhere. Better living, better medical, better education, and good prosperity for the people. Guyanese people work hard, right? And they need a better life.
And do you think they should put all the presidential candidates on one stage for a public debate?
Well, I am not too into the politic kind of thing, right? But the politicians, I feel they're not working in the right way. There is something different about everything. When they get there, they are different. They are quite different. They don't have no time with you. If you have money and you have assets and so, they will look at you. Other than that, you're out of the question.
And what changes would you like to see occur in the next government?
Well, I would like a government that can take care of the people and see that everything goes right in the country, a better living and a better life for all Guyanese. Health, education, and everything that is necessary for Guyanese.
When it comes to racism, how do you think we can do? What do you think we can do to end it?
Well, racism is a thing come from creation, right? But they have some people are racial, some are not, right? But we have to come together as people and realize that we are one people and we have to live one way. To live in unity and love.
And if you were to be the future for president, what is one of the things you would do to make a difference?
Well, I would try to please the people as much as I can. And I would try to do the things that I think the people need to be done. Helping people, helping poor people, helping old people, helping sick people. It's very nice in helping people.
And when it comes to road safety, what do you think we can do to make the road safer?
Well, the road now, it's the police. I must say that the police is just looking for money. If you do a crime, they actually have money to pay. You don't have to go to court. You can give them the money and you're gone. If you don't have the money to give them, well, then they lock you up. That is about the law now.
What are some of the important topics you think should be addressed at the upcoming election?
Well, I think they need a better life for the Guyanese people. More security, more insurance, a better quality life, so that people can live and live properly. Health, education is very necessary for Guyanese. Not only Guyanese, people all over the world. But we need a lot of help in this country. The health system in this country, it's a complete mess. You go to Georgetown Hospital and they will send you over to a place that is closed up for medical attention. If you don't have money to go to a private doctor, perhaps you'll die before Monday morning come. That is the situation right now.
What can you do as a citizen to help stop corruption in Guyana?
Well, corruption, some people cause corruption on themselves, right? Corruption is something that you can't wipe out like that. Corruption, it comes from your mind, your life, how you live, how you've been brought up. They have people naturally corrupted from birth. And they live corrupted, they go corrupted, they even die corrupted. So corrupted is a thing you got to put into place.
How do you think politicians should be punished when caught in corruption?
Well, the politicians don't get no punishment. The politicians can do as they like, as they want, and when they want, how they want.
How do you think they should be punished?
Well, I think they should get the same punishment as any other citizen. If a politician go against the law, I believe he should be jailed. But that don't happen. If you're a politician, you have a big name, you have a big responsibility, maybe you have a big job, and that is it. You can do anything. I can jam you in my car and I gone away. I knock you down, I gone away. That is Mr. Ram Singh, that is Mr. Harry Paul, that is John Sands, and that's it. But if it's a poor man, they grip him and they lock him up and they put him in prison and that is it.
How do you feel knowing that Guyana is one of the highest rates of bribery in Guyana? High rates of bribery in the Caribbean.
Well, the bribery comes to the situation that people go through. You see, if I'm working for X amount of dollars a week or a month, and somebody could give me extra money, you know, it's obvious you grip it. Just for the necessity of needs, you know, you grip it. That's where the bribery and confusion come, you know. And people push people down the drain, you know, you got money, you up there. I don't have money, I down here.
How do you feel when you hear police are involved in a lot of crime in Guyana?
Well, the police would always be involved in crime because the system in the police force is not right. The system is completely wrong. They take advantage of good nature. You know, if you have money and you're in a position, the police would look at you and you can pass the money and give him, he look at you. You can't do nothing, he lock you up. That's the system in Guyana right now.
All right. What do you think we can do to help reduce the suicide rate through Guyana?
What?
What do you think we can do to help reduce the suicide rate in Guyana?
Well, it's the needs of the people. The needs of the people. And the justice. For example, justice. If you have money, you can get justice. You don't have money, you don't have justice. Look, I can tell you, for me, my family dead and left a hell of a land in Albertown, 132 5th Street, Albertown, and they take it from me, you know. I don't know how they become the owner of it. They take it from me, it becomes their own. I can do nothing with the law. Nothing I can do. I'm a small man, just existing.
Okay, so if you were to recommend somewhere for a foreigner to come and visit Guyana, where would you recommend and why?
Well, Guyana is not all of that bad, you know, comparing to other countries, but Guyana is not doing too good with crime. Lots of things that's happening in this country is not supposed to be happening. And the cause of that is the slackness and the lack of the police security.
If you were to recommend somewhere for somebody to come and visit, where would you tell them to go?
Well, Georgetown is the best place for them to come because Georgetown, you know, it has the force and the kind of backup for that, you know. We have the hotels and we have the places that they can be a bit secure here.
Okay. And what would you say is the most favorite thing about Guyana?
The most what?
Favorite thing about Guyana. What do you like about Guyana the most?
Well, I like the country for, you know, it's a big country, it's a nice country, it's a tropical country, you know, and we have a lot of food and a lot of good living here, you know, but things are not just going right. Poor people are punishing a lot, people are suffering. I'm a pensioner and I'm struggling a lot. I'm an artist. I come out every day in Main Street looking for a dollar, I don't get that.
What is your least favorite thing?
My least what?
Favorite thing. What do you don't like about Guyana?
I don't like how the system is going, you know. The system is going. If you have money and you're in a position, they look at you, they will take care of you, and they'll make sure everything. If you don't have money, they just treat you anyhow, you know. Oh, come back tomorrow, I'm going to look after that. They don't have no time with you. But if you go out with money, you're all right, as long as you get money.
Hey, what's your name?
Christian Adams.
And where are you from?
Georgetown.
Georgia. Okay. So our first question, right? How do you think the oil money should be used to benefit the people of Guyana?
Well, mostly it should be used like, it should like go into like to the homes and to the children in the homes and the like orphanage, the hospitals like around the country, like help clean it up and stuff like that. Give to people that really in need of it mostly. Like the lower, you know, environments like Tiger Bay and stuff like that. Give them like a up, you know, raise up on it.
And with the upcoming election, what do you want to see the winning party do to benefit the population as a whole?
Mostly like help like clean up the environment in the country, like greater, make like mostly they need like more activity around us. Mostly time, yes.
Do you think the presidential candidates should put on a stage for a public debate?
Pardon?
Do you think the presidential candidates that we have, do you think we should put all of them on a stage for a public debate?
Yes, because mostly it's like it don't really have that amount of order around.
Okay. And what changes would you like to see occur in the next government?
It's mostly just a clean environment and just walking the road without getting some hate cries or somebody just calling names or something like that. Yeah.
When it comes to racism, what do you think we can do to end it?
Mostly racism. That's kind of like a big thing. So like, how to end it? Like mostly, because it do have a law about that, right? So mostly and not just because it do. Let me see. Mostly, we need to get more people around to stop hypocrising other people, and that's not really hard. We can come back to this one.
No problem. Okay, if you were to be the future president,
Yeah.
what is one of the things you'd do to make a difference in Ghana?
Mostly bring out mostly like the youths and bring like a mostly clean. I would mostly like clean up the country because I always like clean and tidiness.
Okay. When it comes to the road safety, what do you think we can do to make the roads safer?
More cops. And mostly when it's more cops, not like cops just coming walking around and things like that. They must do like actually do their jobs because I know some do and some don't.
And what do you think are some of the important topics that should be addressed at the election?
I don't understand that one.
What do you think are some of the topics that should be addressed in that election coming up that they're not addressed in?
Oh, like sexual abuse. Let me see. The same one, racism. And next one, well, yeah, mostly those two. Mostly sexual abuse because a lot of young children really getting sexual abuse from the older ones.
And what do you think you can do as a citizen to help stop corruption?
Corruption. Mostly look upon the greater party and just, support them. Mostly time.
And how do you think politicians should be punished when caught in corruption?
By taking them out.
Taking them out.
Yeah.
When you say taking them out, what do you mean?
Like don't give them a second because there's supposed to be like more and more chances you're giving them, but like they're not showing improvement and they just coming back again and just disrupting more stuff. So like, no, you don't have a second chance.
And how do you feel knowing that Guyana is one of the highest rate in bribery in the Caribbean?
I don't want to sound about.
Guyana is one of the highest countries, one of the highest rates of bribery. Where they give and bribe in the Caribbean.
Oh, that's very bad.
And how do you feel about in recent news? You heard police are involved in crimes against citizens.
Yeah, that's one of the stuff that I try to like really bring up, but I didn't know how to say it. But yeah, but they should really get like charged because police they just put on sometimes they just put on a uniform for say hey, as a police and you gotta listen to me. But most of the times is we have a part too within this what we could do to police too because if they're doing wrong, we could say that they're doing wrong and at least they could tell themselves they're doing wrong so they could stop.
And how do you think we can help reduce suicide rate in Guyana?
Alright, we could stop by mostly we need to talk because most of the young ones they really think about the suicide. What we really want is that to talk to them like we need more like psychologists, mostly going at schools and stuff like that, and like mental homes and really talking to them and see what's really going on within them or with them.
Okay. And if you were to recommend a foreigner to come and visit somewhere in Guyana, where would you recommend them to go and why?
I would recommend them to go at mostly if they have exhibitions like in Sapphire or like Guyana, like mostly there or to the gardens.
To the gardens. And why?
Because mostly the gardens have there's just like the most beautiful places like they get. So yeah.
Okay. And what is the most favorite thing about Guyana?
About Guyana?
To you?
Mostly to me, what I like about Guyana is that some of us we don't like each other, we all know that, and some of us we do, but mostly like when we walk, we just have, even how bad it is, we all have a smile on our face and we could always tell each other good afternoon or good morning or whatever, no matter what.
And what is the least favorite thing about Guyana?
The least favorite thing about Guyana is that it's always nasty.
What's your name?
My name is Desmond Ali. I'm an artist and a linguist.
Thank you. So we're going to ask you a few questions. The first question, how do you think the oil money should be used to benefit the people of Guyana?
Well, I think that the oil money, I believe in the cash transfer money distribution to at least to every Guyanese who's voting at age 18 and over. And I think that money should be put into education and to proper health care and into diversifying the agricultural sector, maybe in promoting jobs like the production of large-scale production of hemp.
Okay. And with the upcoming election, what do you want to see the winning party do to benefit the population as a whole?
Well, to be quite honest, right, I believe that no one political party, right, or no one race, as we've seen in Guyana for the past 60 years, can really truly manage the economy of the country. I figure there should have been, or should be after the election and in the aftermath of the elections, a common together of all the political parties, and that no one party would take control, of it, because they cannot manage the affairs of the country if whether it be the PPP or the PNC, which are the major parties, because at least 40% of the electorate would be left out of the process. Who would have voted? And given the nature of Guyanese politics in terms of racism and political discrimination, we would find this evidently being continued in another fashion or another form.
Do you think we should get all the presidential candidates and put them on a public stage for a debate?
It certainly would be good, because in terms of the policies, right, it's not very clear, because people are just talking about what this party did in the past, and the present. But what we need people is to show a bright vision of what they intend to do for Guyana. Now we're in the 21st century. How are we going to go ahead, in terms of national reconciliation and possibly, right, in the integration process in the Americas and the Caribbean?
And what changes would you like to see occur in the next government?
In the next government, I'd like to see the movement towards national reconciliation and to redevelop this economy that everybody would be able to benefit in it. That the stakeholders, being all Guyanese, right, that we would be inclusive in the decision-making processes.
When it comes to racism, what do you think we can do to end it?
Well, racism is something endemic in Guyanese situation here, right? But we can, right, in looking at our history and culture, right, this might be a way in which we can be able to resolve the issues, right? But as we know, it is something that merely, right, comes up when there's electoral processes going on, that this thing is agitated and brought to the fore. Because otherwise, Guyanese are living in peace and harmony, and all Guyanese want to live in peace and harmony, and we need to identify ourselves wholly and solely as Guyanese.
And if you were to be the future president elected, what is one of the things you would do to make a difference in Guyana?
Well, I would like to see that Guyanese, right, all benefit from the resources of the country and it's fairly distributed, and that justice be, right, one of the mainstay within our system.
When it comes to road safety, what do you think we can do to make roads safer?
There's lots of problems happening in Guyana in terms of road safety itself, right? But what we have to do, right, is probably think about the distribution of, in terms of the capital itself, right? Everything rotates around one central area in Guyana. That's why there's so much traffic. Maybe if we have a decentralization of the capital itself at the various parts of the region, right? And we have more ministries and businesses opening up there, right? You want to have a decentralization of traffic and movement at the same time. But right now we are congested. That's the problem we'll be faced with, congestion.
And what are some of the important topics you think should be addressed at the upcoming election?
We should look at land distribution. We're looking at oil, right? And we are focusing on oil, but we should look at land distribution. Should look at, in terms of the improvement of the health sector, we should look for employment, and therefore how are we going to produce this 25 or 50,000 jobs in the country, which we can only do so if we go into large-scale cultivation of industrial hemp, which would take probably about 25,000, of the unemployed. But we got to go into infrastructure also. So we got to try to develop the country in order to absorb the unemployed, sector of the Guyanese economy, which right now is unproductive.
And what do you think you can do to help stop corruption in Guyana?
Corruption is something endemic in this society, but we need transparency and accountability in all ministries at the same time. How monies are located, like for instance, we have this ministry over here the other day, giving $1 billion and the artists out here are now receiving nothing at the end of the day.
And when politicians caught in corruption, how do you think they should be punished?
Guyana is a very peculiar situation because politicians have an affinity between themselves. And when they're in office, they would say one thing, but they would not incriminate another politician. It has to do with the judicial system and the application of law, justice.
How do you feel knowing that Guyana is one of the highest rate in bribery?
Guyana being in the Caribbean, highly ranked as one of the most corrupt countries, may have to do with the political culture itself, because the political culture is what influences other sectors. The political culture in Guyana is that there's no accountability of the resources of the country, and the millionaires, the politicians are first persons that have to give the example. For instance, they have right now, they have a committee that is responsible for the declaration of the assets. And we know that in Parliament right now, nearly 1/3 of the politicians and the parliamentarians have not declared their assets as yet, and they will be contesting in the election once again, and we don't know what they have in their possession. Therefore, we have to start with the politicians, right? Because from there, right, from the top, trickles down the corruption. And if we can be able to curb it from the top, we'll probably be able to deal with it from the bottom.
And what about police? When you hear police are involved in crime against citizens, how do you feel about that?
The police force has to be, right, remodeled, because right now it's not really serving the interests of the citizens of the country. I have a personal experience with the police too, right, in which they are being very accommodative and bribed too, and they are accepting simply, right, for cases which could be attended to by the courts as simple fried rice. You know, so we have to remodel and restructure the police force. This is very important.
And what do you think we can do to help reduce suicide rate through Guyana?
Suicide rate, again, is something sociologically implicated with the political structure or the political rule, the nature of the political rule in the country. Because a lot of people are distressed. Take, for instance, we saw the upsurge in instances of suicide, right, and domestic violence in the aftermath of the dismissal of 7,000 workers of the sugar estate. Look, one take it, you know, for instance, if it was a study of what took place afterward, you would know that this has a sociological impact upon domestic violence, crime, murders, etc., suicides.
And if you were to recommend a foreigner to come and visit Guyana, where would you recommend to go and why?
Well, Georgetown is a beautiful place to see, right? But I look at the hinterlands, right? We have some very beautiful locations. You know, some parts of the Amazonian aspect are in Guyana, as in South America, and the Andean parts, our mountains and valleys, you know, and our biodiversity that we have in Guyana.
What would you say is the most favorite thing about Guyana?
Well, I'd say maybe our food, our diversity, right? Our hospitality is another aspect of a Guyanese, right? That we can speak about, right? I mean, there's other countries, but Guyanese are renowned for hospitality irrespective of circumstances.
What is your least favorite thing about Guyana?
Least is that, oh man, every time the election campaign comes around, right? It opens the racial wounds and the people in the country, right? And people are all distracted and suspicious one of the other.
That's it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Guyanese thing, this a Guyanese thing. Ring ting ting, this a Guyanese thing.